Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I trust that this message is finding you at the right moment in time. This message came to me at 5 in the morning, but it's now 4 in the afternoon. So we've sat on this, but I woke up at 5 in the morning with just like these two, I had this dream, and the only thing I could hear like following the dream was just like detach, burn it all down, detach, burn it all down, detach, burn it all down. And I went and I sat and I wrote down just everything that was coming to me. And when I was sitting on it and reflecting on it, I was thinking like, oh, this feels very Pluto and Aquarius. I think I need to record a video on this because this likely is going to land for a lot of people, and I'm trusting that this is the right message for you and it's coming to you at the time you need it. I think for the past, like, if you're not tuned into the astrology, you may or may not know that like for the past several years, I want to say it's been like 20 years, we had the era of like Pluto and Capricorn, which was very Capricorn energy is very traditional. It's very rule oriented. It's Saturn vibes. It's very like by the book, like, you know, don't teach like you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of mentality. And it's very focused on like long-term stability and like building for our future. A lot of times people associate Capricorn as well as like Taurus with like material, like more so for Capricorn, like material wealth, to like have that stable, I feel successful, I feel safe, I feel like I have a cushion for myself. And that's been going on for about like 20-ish years. We are now in the era of Pluto in Aquarius, as you may or may not know, which is a very different shift. Pluto is all about like transformation and it's death and rebirth, and Aquarius is a very innovative, future focused sign, but it's also, Aquarius is the master of detachment, right? Aquarius kind of knows that, and this is from my notes I wrote, they're not bound by tradition. To truly innovate, you need to move beyond what is seen and what is known and move into the unknown. And in order to do that, you must detach from all ways of normal thinking, detach from the norm, detach from like, if I do X, I'll receive Y, because it's all about the playful discovery, like seeing what happens. I'm doing X and I have no attachment to whether I receive Y or not. X may produce Z, X may produce A, X may produce J. And Aquarius energy is very open to that. And while we're moving into this shift, this age of Aquarius, the Pluto and Aquarius era, you might find that the way that you've always been doing things is no longer working for you. And while we're in this like death and rebirth, in order to move forward, to innovate, to experience something new, it's going to require you to detach. And if for the past like 20 years you've been really set on like following tradition, doing what's expected of you, and like clinging to more of that material world, then this is going to feel really uncomfortable. But it's also where we're shifting now. You know, we're encouraged to, we might feel the calling, if you feel the calling to just like, why I keep saying like burn it all down, like the old ways of doing things are no longer working anymore. Like in your life, also on a societal level, we're finding out that the old way of doing things doesn't really match where we're currently at in this present day-to-day moment. And you might find in your life, like, I've been doing things the same way over and over and over again, and it doesn't feel right anymore, because like astrologically you're being pushed in a whole totally different direction right now, where you're being called to be open, burn it all down, burn down what's no longer working for you, detach from the outcome, and just be in this state of openness, right? Aquarius is also air. It's very like I think of like air, it's just fluid, right? It's airy, it's light. It's not too serious. And just being in this state of being open to whatever could possibly come next. I wrote, stay open to new possibilities, eliminate the blueprint. The blueprint no longer works. But also too, with that being said, if the blueprint no longer works, you have to be open to finding something fresh, something new. Maybe building your own new blueprint from scratch. Maybe going at life with no blueprint anymore. And just kind of seeing what happens. I think of like, also like the life of a nomad. Not necessarily saying you need to be a nomad unless that like really calls to you. But like when we think of nomads, right, or like digital nomads these days, they're not owned by a certain place. They're not owned by a certain set of rules. They're kind of free to go from place to place, and maybe that is what you're called to next, is embracing that kind of nomad mentality of like, maybe today I'm here and tomorrow I'm there. And what I learn along the way is a complete mystery, but I'm open to it, and I'm open to like seeing where that takes me, and like seeing what I discover, and like allowing myself to be a little bit more untraditional and to break rules, you know, in a safe way, and challenge what has always been expected of me, and just go with the flow, detach, burn it all down. Detach, burn it all down. I also feel the need to put like the disclaimer with like detach. I don't necessarily mean like you need to cut all strings with everything. I'm not saying to do that, but detach more so as like, I think of like detachment as like nothing. It's not that you own nothing, but nothing owns you. So more so like, you know, I'm not saying like cut off all your friends, like, but maybe be comfortable with the idea of that, like your current friends could shift. Maybe you'll make new friends. Maybe you will lose some friends in the process. Maybe friends will move. Maybe friends, you know, being open to letting shifts happen, letting things come and go, and not letting that shake you. Same thing. I'm not saying detach means like, oh, I just no longer care about my job, but maybe being open to a promotion, open to moving to another team, open to moving to another company, open to working a totally different job that maybe you've never had before, but just not letting the job be the thing that owns you, being like, I've always been in this career, I have to take this specific path. Detach from that boxed in mentality and allow yourself to be open to whatever happens next. We're not letting the job title, the salary, all of that own you, but knowing like, hey, this is where I'm at currently, but I'm open to seeing whatever happens next, whatever is for my highest good will come my way, and just being in a state of openness. And to the burn it all down aspect of it too. The reason why I say that is like, also Pluto is death and rebirth, right? And when we think of that, like when we think of a fire, that's essentially what it does. When we burn it all down, it's the death aspect. But at the same time, it's creating that space so new things can grow. And if you're finding in your current realm of things, whether it's certain mentalities, certain mindsets, certain beliefs, certain limitations you've like held yourself to, societal expectations, norms, all of that, like roles that you play in society, masks that you have just to feel like you can fit into that previous, you know, more traditional expectation energy. That's what we're burning down. We're letting go of this need to perform, burning down old beliefs that no longer serve us, burning down limiting beliefs, burning down the idea that you can't do something, burning down the belief that you need to stay trapped in a certain box. And also that could mean too, though, like maybe there are certain things you've been doing in your life for that certain reason. Maybe you've always lived in a certain place because, you know, that's the safe option. It's like, maybe it's like close to your family, it's in the same area you've always been in, but maybe that's not what you need right now. Maybe this next chapter of your life is encouraging you to explore something new, to try something new, or burning it down, saying, I don't need to stay here. I've been here, it's done me well, it served me its time, but I'm ready for what's next. Burn it all down, move out, try something new, right? Maybe, again, I keep giving examples. I don't even know if I need to give another example, actually. I think that this is landing. I believe so. Anyway, is there anything else in here? Let go of doing things for the sake of an outcome. We talked about that. Be okay with not knowing what happens next. Yeah, that's all I've got. I imagine for a lot of people you're feeling this way, whether or not you're like into astrology. I would imagine if you're here, you are into astrology. But this has been like a big outer planet shift. It affects literally everyone. Outer planets have more of a societal impact rather than a personal one, but that does not mean its impact is not felt personally. Especially if you are someone who's like a really early degree Taurus placement, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, or Mars only, really. And by like early degree, I think like 0 to 5 degrees. Right now, at least, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for a long time. For a long, long time. I think it's like 40 years. Or no, or maybe it's until 2040, and that's where I'm getting the 40 from. Don't quote me on this. So as it like moves through very slowly, it'll start to impact more and more people, but at least in these early moments, those placements will probably feel this the strongest. But we'll notice it happening in society. It already is showing up so obviously everywhere. If we think about like new tech innovations, we're seeing that, like, I mean, people kept saying it, like the new normal. Like, we just keep challenging what is the new normal. We keep seeing that old ways aren't working, and people are innovating, whether that is for better or for worse. That is, we'll find out if these innovations really are serving us or harming us. But we are more and more seeing people start to challenge what has always been done and find and carve out brand new paths that are new for them and have never been done before. And if you feel that calling to do the same for yourself, then this is the sign you've been looking for. You've got the planetary okay to move in that direction. Yeah. If this was interesting for you, or if this resonated, leave a comment. I would appreciate it. And let me know, do you like when I talk about astrology here? Would be curious to know that. So let me know. I'm always happy to talk more about it. If you know, you know. But if that's not of interest, also let me know too. Yeah, that's all I got.